If you're able to, please remain standing, and will you join me in the saying of our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can you please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Emily Barber, Sydney Koval, and Kira Miller.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets echo, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's going to be hard to follow. Good evening, Albemarle. Oh, sorry, you guys can remain, sit down, please. Got a little ahead of myself there. It's a true honor to be one of the first, but certainly not the last, to welcome the class of 2021. When I look out today, I don't just see the future, which I'll add looks very bright. I see a community that has been through so much together. We have been through the worst of times. We have been through the best of times. That one is for my English teachers out there. We are here today because the wonderful thing about Albemarle is we are a community that is strong, a community that is vibrant, a community that is colorful and diverse. We come from all different walks of life, yet this institution we come to every day has made it so for a brief part of our lives. All our paths unite under a common goal. Not only is that goal to be able to call yourself a graduate, but the impressive thing about our class is we have always strived for more. This class is one that has always gone above and beyond, a class that has embodied the quote by the courageous Shirley Chisholm, saying, "If they do not give you a seat at the table, you bring a folding chair." This class has been leading the youth charge for a better, more equitable future for all, as well as academic achievement. This path we have been on together for the past 4 years has created so many collective memories. From having to fight for our wall and benches our sophomore year against those pesky freshmen, to having participants and winners in national science fairs, to winning state titles, to organizing and leading peaceful protests. And the funny thing is that no matter how much we wanted this journey to end, I think I can safely say this. This day has come a lot sooner than anyone expected. We didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun. Those wise words are brought to you by the great philosopher, Winnie the Pooh. Before I go, I wanted to include a life lesson, something to make this time we have together useful. I have pondered on what I could include, but I finally landed on something very simple, a little cliche, a little bumper stickerish, but nevertheless important. While going over the homework one day over the infamous Zoom, I gave my answer to a math problem, which I knew, statistically speaking, based on historical data, I was most likely gonna get wrong. And for once in math, I was right about something. This unit was about limits in a graph, and the correct answer turned out to be DNE, meaning does not exist. This very simple three-letter answer, I think, is something that perfectly describes how we as a class view obstacles. For us, we look at them as they simply do not exist. When the class of 2021 puts their heads together, they come up with creative, with innovative solutions. I guess what I'm trying to say is that as we continue on our path, many paths forward, I want us all to face it with the mindset that the limit to what we can do does not exist, especially if we do it together. Thank you. Next, I would like to welcome the choir.
Falling off, and it hurts so bad. The only way you can know is give it all you have. I hope that you don't suffer, but day to day. Hope when the moment comes, I'll say I did it all. Things that I did, yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days when the sun goes down. Wish that I could witness. Till that moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived.
Wow, our choir is so talented. I said this morning as well, but that's going to be really tough to follow. Seniors, it's so good to finally see all of you. Before I begin, let's give it up for the family, friends, and staff that are here supporting us and on the live stream. My name is Coca Brisby, and I'm beyond honored to be addressing our incredible senior class. Class of 2021, the time has finally come. In a few moments, you'll walk across the stage and be freed from the hall monitors and hour-long, 45-minute long Zoom meetings. So, with that being said, let me make the most of this last chance, while you're still in school, by droning on in yet another speech. For real though, take it all in right now. Look around you. Savor this moment. This day is a testament to your hard work, and it is a day for you to celebrate. Well, my friends, congratulations, for today marks the end of being young, dumb, broke high school kids, and initiates our journey of being slightly less young, a little more educated, but still very broke adults. When I was asked to give this speech, I struggled with what I wanted to talk to y'all about. I could spend hours talking about our school's incredible diversity of students that speak over 70 different languages, or the numerous clubs that strive to make Albemarle and the surrounding community a better place. But then I realized I knew exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. Paper. Yes, the one thing we didn't have to use through this virtual year. Paper. In case you forgot, here's what it looks like. Let me take you back to our first interactions with paper. From green eggs and ham to goodnight moon, we gazed at the images etched onto paper, drawing a sense of tranquility and wonder. It seemed like that's all paper was and all it could be. That was until we discovered coloring. We started off coloring between the lines, and as we grew into individuals, we worked off of blank pieces of paper, letting our imaginations run wild. Paper remained an ever-present figure in our high school journey. In many of our 9th grade classes, shout out to Mr. Lindsay, we scribbled our aspirations for the next 4 years into a note, sealed them shut, and kept those goals on the horizon. Soon enough, these hopes began to feel like a distant dream as the pages of that first textbook smacked us with reality. And no, I am definitely not referring to the world history textbooks. As we tore through the chapters, the names on the inside cover of students that had gone through the textbook in past years comforted us. When junior year hit, one piece of paper meant the world to us, the temporary driver's license, which meant we could finally drive to school and dangle our keychains for all to see. And that brings us to senior year. Today, your remarkable journey through paper in its various forms will add another souvenir to its name when you walk across the stage and receive your diploma. I would argue that this piece of paper is one of, if not the most important pieces of paper in your life. It represents your hard work through the courses, the education of your mind, but more importantly, it represents the evolution of your character. In our time here, we have learned to leap out of our comfort zones. We have learned to do things out of love, not out of necessity. We learned to believe, persevering and thriving through unprecedented times. We took chances, failed, and took more chances. So yes, this piece of paper represents the attainment of an excellent academic education, true, but it also represents the attainment of that education. This piece of paper signifies not only where we were educated, but who we were educated with. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm talking about our high school journey by focusing on pieces of paper. My point is this. We've come a long way from coloring books to diplomas. Till now, our journeys and the pieces of paper that mark it have been similar. This is because many of the destinations we have passed were not products of our own will, but rather products of society and our surroundings. Today, each of us will receive a unique piece of paper, and with it, a chance to shape it into something uniquely ours. And yes, this is as daunting of a reality as any, but if there's one thing I've learned in high school, it's the fact that it's okay to not know what your piece of paper is going to look like. I don't know what mine will look like, but I know this. We all have it in us to seize the opportunities in front of us. Travel the world, apply for that job, fall in love, take that class. The beauty is that it's all up to you. In a few moments, we will officially receive the foundational sheet. We'll have that flat piece of paper I showed you at the beginning. By dedicating yourself to keep reaching for your dreams, you and your pieces of paper will fold into things that can exceed everyone's expectations. You and your pieces of paper will fold into things that can fly to the moon. Or the 10-yard line. I'm going to blame Mesa for that one. So, Patriots, I'd like to challenge every single one of us, as Amanda Gorman said, to lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but to what stands before us. Thank you. And one last time, class of 21. Whose town? A-town. Whose town?
A-town.
And now, if you'll join me in welcoming the man that needs no introduction, the tick-tock, trick-shot making, fist-bumping, and uplifting principal of Albemarle High School, Mr. Dara Bonham.
Thank you, Kokub. Welcome, friends, family, alumni, students, and guests to the 2021 commencement ceremony for Albemarle High School. I am Dara Bonham, principal. I would like to recognize first those on stage with us this evening and our special guest. I ask that you please hold your applause until the end. From Albemarle, our student speakers, you've heard from two of them already, Angel Pilkey, Kokub Rizvi, and Naquel Perry. Assistant Principal, Ms. Kimona Murray. Teachers, Ms. Janine Reed, Ms. Jennifer Morris, and Mr. Michael Gambino. From the Virginia House of Delegates, Mr. Rob Bell. From Albemarle County Public Schools, Assistant Superintendent for School Community Empowerment, Dr. Bernard Hairston, and our Superintendent, Dr. Matt Haas. From the Albemarle County School Board, Ms. Judy Lee, Ms. Katrina Carlson, and Mr. Jono Alcaro. Representing the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, Ms. Bia Lepisto Kirtley and Ms. Diantha McKeel. I'd also like to recognize members of the AHS admin team that are here today. Counseling Director, Ms. Megan Parsons, Athletic Director, Ms. Deb Tyson, Assistant Principals, Ms. Dee Dee Jones, Mr. Craig Smith, and Dr. Kate Howard. A special thanks to Mr. Andrew LaPrade and Ms. Jennifer Morris, along with the marching band and Albemarle Choir for their amazing performances today. While not on stage with us this evening, I would also like to recognize three special members of our staff who will be retiring at the end of this school year. Ms. Deb Pruitt, Ms. Ruth Sisman, and Ms. Audrey Spouse. Please join me in a show of appreciation for all of our guests. So, to our Albemarle High School graduating class of 2021. Wow, just wow. Can you believe we are in this moment today? Right here, right now. The most people you have probably been around at one point in the past 15 months has probably been at your local grocery store or perhaps in your neighborhood. But today, I ask you, senior class of 2021, to take a look around you. You have almost 200 of your classmates here with you today, and over 1,000 family, friends, teachers, and staff to cheer you on to celebrate you. 15 months ago, last March, I remember walking into the breezeway during afternoon dismissal after the governor had indicated that schools and all school activities would be halted for a time, being as we were just starting to deal with the COVID crisis. As I passed a group of seniors in the senior circle outside, one of them commented, "Thanks, Mr. Bonham. It's been a great year. See you at graduation." I chuckled at that notion. This was merely a pause for our school, I thought. Surely we'll be back together soon enough. I was wrong, and the student was actually correct. I did see him at graduation 3 months later in the front parking lot of our school as I handed out over 400 diplomas individually without any commencement ceremony. So as you look around you this afternoon, think about how far we've come. Yes, we had struggles, but now we have celebration. Yes, we had solitude, but now we have connection. Yes, we had the darkness of Zoom, but now we have the brightness of the sun. Yes, we had uncertainty, but now we have plans. Yes, you had that nagging sibling in your house, and yes, you still have that nagging sibling in your house. But you see, the one thing you never failed to hold on to was hope. Hope that things would change, hope that things would go back to normal, hope to see your friends again, and hope that this day would eventually come. And the day has now arrived. Yes, you persevered through it all to join us here today in a celebration like no other. A celebration that converted that hope into something meaningful and tangible. You didn't get to this point, especially through some of the most difficult days, without support. First of all, the support from your loving, caring family that at times you may not have enjoyed being quarantined with, but gave you the stability necessary to keep moving forward. You also had the care and guidance from your teachers at Albemarle High School. As tough as COVID was on the student body, it was equally as tough on our staff. I commend our staff for their compassion, support, and grace as they helped you through these difficult days. Thank you, Albemarle faculty and staff. At the start of the school year, television production teacher Mr. P helped pull together a musical video, hopefully you remember that, welcoming students back to the new school year. And by the way, give a shout out to Mr. P. He is here and his entire crew. We are live streaming this across not just the country, but around the world, all because of their help and their technology. So thank you, Mr. P. That song that Mr. P had members of our staff sing was an 80s song called Right Here, Right Now. If you follow the lyrics to that song, you know that it reads, right here, right now, watching the world wake up from history. It's ironic that the school year started with that song and we end today with that reference. Today is the start of an awakening where the world, where you wake up from history to start anew. For those of you making a commitment to a military branch or pursue a pathway as a first responder, we thank you. For others, your next step may be through work, a gap year, or post-secondary education. Or you may not just know, and that's okay. Regardless of your path, two things are clear. No matter how hard or deep the struggles, hope is always on the horizon. You've experienced it, you've lived through it, you've made it here today, successful. And secondly, you have lived and you are living in a time where the power of one can create movements. Whether that movement is leading the way for social justice, finding a way to create walkways and hiking trails in your local community, or creating a social media campaign on TikTok to support others in need. I can speak for the entire staff at Albemarle High School to say you have the power of one, each and every one of you. You give us hope. We will be watching you make history. We are proud of you. We care about you. We love you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your journey. And now it's my privilege to introduce Superintendent of Albemarle County Public Schools, Dr. Matt Haas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonham. I feel really inspired by your remarks, and I just want to be sure and say just how proud I am of you. Lots of times when you're the principal, you're congratulating everyone else, and I commend you for the outstanding job that you've done this year keeping your community together through a really hard time. I think the staff here at the school has done an amazing job being resilient, bouncing back, learning all the new things you had to learn, letting go of things that you'd been doing for years just to support the students. And I really want to tell you just how much I appreciate that. I just had a few remarks I want to share. Good evening, graduates, families, and Albemarle High School Patriot staff. Over the past several days and for many days to come, students, you have received and will continue to receive well-deserved congratulations from your family and friends. I'm here this evening to add my congratulations to you for finishing up your time in high school successfully and now commencing with the next step in your life. I hope it is true for me to say that one of the best things about completing 12th grade and earning a high school diploma is that after you do that, you get to choose what you do next. Each day and for the future, you get to choose. You get to choose big picture items like continuing in your current employment and continuing your education, or both. You get to choose to go for a new job now that you have more time to work and new skills under your belt. You get to choose if you want to seek a new occupation, to go to college, or perhaps enlist in the armed services, the Peace Corps, or another volunteer organization such as the American Red Cross, or all of the above. In so many ways, you will take on more and more of the choosing and acting on your life's direction and purpose. And based on what I know about you from Mr. Bonham and the Albemarle High School staff, you are absolutely ready to go forward, especially because you have been establishing yourself well in your learning and taking on leadership roles in your life and your family and your school and community. You are well on your way to being independent, and we, your family, your friends,
your school community, we will always be here for you to lean on when you need us. We want to see you take off and take on the world, and we want you to remember that we're always here for you. And in a tangible way, and this might seem kind of corny or trivial, your Albemarle County email address that you have now that perhaps sometimes you do open and look in, it will still be active for many years to come. So open it sometimes to see if there's an email in there, maybe from me, asking you how you're doing, what are you up to, did we do a good job, did we provide you what you needed for what you're doing at the time, and reminding you that we're still here, and we're still here to help you if you need help. So hold on to that email address. We are proud of you. Although I do not know very many of you personally, I know you. In fact, I know this class a little better than many of the other classes I've worked with as an Albemarle County Schools employee over the years. I'm sure many of you know my daughter is graduating tonight, and so thank you. I'm sure Lainey really appreciates that. Thank you. But the point I was about to make is that any of the students that were in her class at Agner Hurt, there's close to 100 of you that I've watched grow up since you were in preschool. I saw you taking naps at Agner Hurt Elementary School. I saw you at the multicultural celebrations that would take place at the school, learning formal dance. I saw you grow up, so I know you a little better than I have known the classes over the year. I know you're smart. I know you're well educated. I know you're strong. I know you're capable. And I trust you to carry forward what you have learned. I hope you trust in yourself. You should. You, the class of 2021, you've been grounded for more than a year, haven't you? You have been stifled by the global pandemic. I mean, what a tough time to be a teenager. I think about myself as a teenager, and I can't imagine holding up as well as you have during COVID-19. Now, I'm sure there have been some meltdowns out there. I mean, some real meltdowns. I know there have been because I have had a few and caused a few myself. And I'm sorry for that, for anybody involved in those. But with graduation as a time for putting the past behind us and commencing the future, perhaps we can all forgive each other and ourselves for our meltdowns, our crises, and for hurtful words or mean arguments, and move forward tonight. If there ever was a time for grace, this may be it. I hope that if there are families here this evening who have suffered a loss or who have had harsh words during this truly hard time, I hope that you are healing. I hope that this graduation ceremony, in and of itself, may be a time of happiness and joy and healing for you. I hope you heal. I believe you will. Graduates, I believe you are healing, and you will help others. And here I'm going to quote Fred Rogers, a person famous for his iconic and impactful public television show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, when I say the following to you. No matter what our particular job, especially in our world today, we are called to be tikkun olam, which is Hebrew and means repairers of creation. Thank you for whatever you do, wherever you are, to bring joy and light and hope and faith and pardon and love to your neighborhood and to yourself. Graduates, remember this day as a day you brought great joy to your family. You are repairing creation. You have brought joy and light and hope and faith and pardon to your family, to your community. I hope you will look back and remember this occasion as one that made everyone you know smile. Today and tomorrow, when you see those smiles on your family's faces and tears of joy, remember, you did that. You made us all happier. You, in your intrepid walk through these past 15 months, have been beneficial to all of us. You have inspired us. Many of you have put fun activities on hold or put aside some of your dreams. Quite literally, you have not had room to breathe, to stretch to your full height, to run as fast as you can, or to jump your highest to reach the stars. You've suffered. It's okay to say that. There are degrees of suffering in our lives and in our community, but I personally do not know anyone who has not suffered, gone through a crisis, or has not experienced a loss over these past 15 months. You have suffered, but look at you now. You are bouncing back. In many ways, you've been held back into getting to do all the things you want and need to do. But look at you now. You are resilient. You've had some hard times, but look at you now. You are graduating from high school. You are a beautiful sight to me. And while you've been grounded, you're now going to spread your wings and soar. Albemarle High School Patriots and soon to be alumni, you are ready to fly. You're ready to stand to your full height, to take a deep and full breath and let it out, to run as fast as you can. You're ready to reach for the stars. As I said earlier, you got this, and we've got your back. Thank you very much, Mr. Bonham, for the opportunity to address this class this evening, and to all of you, I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Haas. Today is a day that is cherishable in many ways. Not only is today the first time that many of us have physically been together in 449 days, but it is a day that celebrates all of the hard work we put into our time here at Albemarle. I think I can speak for all of us when I say it feels like yesterday was our first day of high school, when all we were worried about was figuring out where our classes were and trying to get an understanding on what high school was all about. High school came with many challenges, whether that challenge was trying to finish a dual enrollment chapter outline the night before its due date, trying to balance a heavy course load and extracurriculars, or trying to sneak back in the building during lunchtime before the administrators figured out we weren't seniors. Through all of the adversities we as a class had to go through, we've managed to be resilient and make it to the finish line. That exact drive and motivation we've used to get through this year is the exact passion we'll need to get through all the challenges life will throw our way. As we close a chapter of our lives today, I want you to remember that it's okay to make mistakes and not have everything figured out. I want you to remember that whenever you get stressed out or feel like giving up, remind yourselves that you can survive anything. With all of that being said, I hope all of you are proud of yourselves. I hope that you embrace this celebration today and know that whatever your post-high school plans include, you will do great things and the sky is your limit. And even though in just a moment you will come up here and receive your diploma, please make sure you never forget this one thing. Once a patriot, always a patriot. Lastly, seniors, as you can see, you all have an umbrella at your seat. These are yours to keep. This AHS umbrella is to not only protect you from today's sun, but if you all open them up right now, you will notice the design of 2021 that is created with the different colors represented. As we get ready for the reading of our graduates, please open them up as we hope to capture a picture representing the senior class of 2021. There we go. Thank you, seniors. Now let's get this celebration rolling.
I thought that everyone who left for lunch was a senior. Before we get started with the presentation of diplomas, I know it is warm, it is hot. I just want to remind our guests as well is that if you start feeling a little bit like you need a break, we do have an area you can go over here underneath the underpass. There's also in the cafeteria, we have it live streamed for you if you want to get a chance just to get a break, cool off a little bit because it does get a little bit certainly warm. I've been sitting here for a while. So now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the opportunity to present to you the diplomas for the graduating class of 2021. Joining me today in the introductions and the name reading of our graduates will be Ms. Jennifer Morris and Mr. Michael Gambino.
Okay. Ali Hussein Abdul Karim. Madison Rose Aber. Shahad Al Sakini. Rukeya Al Mustafa. Oh, sorry. Al Mustafa. Martina Monet Anderson. Cody Armstrong. Theo Barrett Johnson. Venri Batu Wengala. Nathaniel Bayers. Kirsten Brooke Bega. Sarah Elizabeth Biter. Reagan Morea Bingaman. Mia Angela Bashirjian. Sorry. It's Basirjian. Sorry. Grace Blackman. Henry Edmund Bauer. Hugh Augustus Bauer. Rebecca Anna Boyajian. Verkin Boyajian. Lenora Brower. Darius Michael Carpenter. Jonathan Castillo. Ricardo Chicas Rivas. What's up? Elijah Hunter Childress. Katie Ann Marie Christopher. Duncan Copey. Georgia Victoria Costain. Carson Richard Cox. Caleb Edward Crowley. Finley Marie Kernut. Levian Lee Dang. Olivia Deepak. Zane Alexander DeHooge. Angeline Din. Kaylee Gabrielle Dinsmore. Mia Karen Dinsmore. Trevor Craig Driscoll. Sarah Mackenzie Durer. Cornelius Jefferson Dwyer. Darian Lamonte Edwards. Elizabeth Cobden Elvgren. Fahim John Faizi. Tyler Kane Ferguson. You know it. Cindy Fernandez. Zaylin Foster. Josh Andre Francisco. Mary Garcia. Jay Gardner. Zoe Taylor Gardner. Justin Paul Jeffrey. Hayat Gazul. Prayukta Gamir. Marquise Tyree Gordon. Michael Allen Rigoli. You made it. Evan Grimes. Messiah Elizabeth Guadarrama. Cassidy Paige Guyton. Elaine Marie Haas. Rebecca Hasten. Hallie Jane Heath. Hayden Faith Heflin. Jackson Thomas Hefner. Angel Herndon Scott. Isabella Avery Hersman. Jeanette Antoinette Hill. Hope Emily Hilton. Kevin Huang. William Holt Hornsby. Caleb Benjamin Huddleston. Lily Maeve Hurt. Kevin Edwin Yaredich. Asia Johnson. Charlotte Kashka. Daniel Lucas Karpovich. Malachi Oluti Kays. Sorry, I did what I could. And I murdered his middle name, I'm sorry. Asher Michael King. Sydney Rebecca Covell. Madeline Marie Crombush. Maxwell Kwan. Riley Lawson. John Layton. Karen Lee. Youngjun Lee.
Chengzi Li. Mia Liang. David Maldonado. Zane McKinley Marshall. Maya Shea Marshall. Elena Grace Masloff. Josiah Thomas Matthews. Kenneth Matute Gomez. Tyler David McCormick. Frances Teresa McLean. Kira Vale Miller. Dylan Kyle Morton. Connor James Morton. Lindsay Marie Morton. Abby Paige Murphy. Connor Nelson. Will O'Hara. Andy Packwood. Justin Le June Pack. Richard Palma Galeas. Ayusha Pandey. Alexander Patterson. Lauren Elise Payne. Andrew Stephen Wren Perry. Naquel Amir Perry Jr. Alicia Quinn Fan. Lauren Kennedy Pierce. Angel Antonio Pilkey Chavez. Alan Maynard Pritchett. Mason Pritchett. Oh, Puckett, I'm sorry. I was doing so good. Angeli Quintano. Ivan Michael Rabinowitz. Caleb Reich. Liv Danielle Reed. Natasha Leslie Hannah Reuter. Nathaniel William Riccardi. Kokub Risby. Wesley Roberts. Mahdi Ahmadi. Sammy Saliba. Jeffrey Sarmiento. Isabel Savour. Patrick Schmidt. Elijah Paul Shiflett. Natalie Louise Shropshire. Evan Smart. Taylor Lee Southers. Colin Sparks. Julian Spears. Sam Spears. Elijah Gabriel Stendig. Lexi Jade Stevens. Blair Elizabeth Stilley. Anna McAuliffe Sturgis. Trinity Ann Swartz. Tyler Preston Thompson. Alondra Trujillo Monreal. Eve Michelle Umberger. David Enrique Valencia Chicas. Jerry Varghese. Charles Merrick Vavrick. Alexandra Kate Warren. Connor Hartman Wells. Mandreese Tayu Wells. Gabriella Rose Wilk. Zena Gray Wilson. Mytasia Wine. Christopher Keegan Woods. Miriam Eunice. Joseph Dustin Young. And Benicio Zambrana.
Round of applause for our 2021 Albemarle High School graduates. For all those who have completed all necessary requirements upon the power granted to me from the Virginia Department of Education, Albemarle County School Board, and Dr. Haas, I hereby call you Albemarle High School graduates. Mr. LaPrade, hit the music. Last row, you may recess out. Big round of applause again. Our graduating class, Albemarle High School. The last row, you will go ahead and recess out. Everyone else will fall in line.